Hello people of the web and welcome back to Creators Thoughts. This week I want to talk about the exciting topic of bookkeeping. Before you switch off completely, remember these podcasts are fairly short, so stick around. You're only risking a few minutes of your time and you never know, it might help. The fact of the matter is that only a few streamers will be successful enough to go full time. But keeping your books balanced, a term to mean being on top of your accounting, is important for creators of all sizes. The most obvious reason is that it helps you file taxes correctly and minimises the chances of being in trouble with the government. But as well as that, it allows you to see what your income is, how stable it is, and where it's coming from. This is incredibly important if you want to know where you are heading and see what's working. I don't talk about my life outside of streaming in great detail, but I've been self-employed for over 15 years now and have experience in doing my own accounts. With that being said, I am not a certified accountant and my experience is mostly limited to UK taxes. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt, and I'd encourage you to go do your own research and seek out professional advice when needed. Content creators are typically independent businesses that receive income via platforms such as Twitch, Redbubble, Amazon, YouTube, etc., but are not employed by those platforms. As such, it's down to you to put all of those revenue streams and expenses into an accounting platform. Accounting platforms can be fancy software, but you can also do it all on a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet can be incredibly simple or feature-rich. It's up to you. Although I'd encourage you to think about how you might need to use it early on, as it's easier to implement information at the start than it is to do it later. In the UK, you can earn up to £1,000 without having to declare it. However, I'd encourage you to build one from the start. My reasoning includes, but is not limited to, number 1, if the government questions how much you made, you can show them clearly the amount and mitigate the risk of them saying, "We see you've earned this much and this is your tax bill plus a fee for not filing correctly," as you'll clearly have evidence to what your actual profit was. Number 2, you can see the breakdown of revenue streams and compare it year on year, or even month on month. Number 3, potentially during your first year of content creation, you will lose money by investing in equipment and resources, which you might be able to deduct from a future profit. So, where to start? There are templates out there. Personally, I decided to design my own, where I have a simple list of transactions, revenue and expenses categories, and a financial year summary, which shows the total income, expenses and profit for a set period. I'll mock up a simple template which you can access from the podcast description if you want to use that as a starting point. I personally like to break out incomes when I can because it allows you to see the detail. For example, I receive income from Ko-fi. Some are memberships, which are relatively reliable. A store sale might be more seasonal and a tip might be due to a special occasion, so it's nice to separate them. Of course, some incomes are tricky to categorize. Twitch sends a single payment to include bits, subs, ads, etc., and breaking them out is hard work. You might want to do this, but it does mean an increase to effort required. Your spreadsheet should include a reference for each invoice or receipt, and those should be kept in your accounting folder. Personally, each income or expense document is just given a number, and the PDF is kept in a folder that lives beside my spreadsheet. This makes it far easier to check things and be able to provide relevant documents to your accountant or government if required. As a handy note, different countries will run their accounting years for different periods. The UK, for example, runs from the 6th of April one year till the 5th of April the next year. Why do I ramble on so much about accountants? Well, when I was a young dragon and had to file accounts, I would leave everything until I had to do it. And I learnt the hard way it's far more difficult to chase invoices months after you've received something than it is a week after. And even back then, when my mind was sharp, I would struggle to remember what that £7.50 expense that went out 9 months ago was, and only had a string of random letters next to it to help me identify. Yeah, good luck with that. I feel like this is turning into a public service announcement. Remember kids, do your accounts. Thank you for sticking with a topic that's not exciting. Hope you've learnt something. Love to hear your thoughts and see you back here next week to talk about something other than accounting. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye now.